let's do it in short. I have the five most important features I added to my percussion publications to save your time and simplify your process. And the first one, I don't know if it's really readable, but the first one are the PDF scores and PDF parts. And the parts are available after download, immediately after your purchase. And there's also a temporary score included with a small logo in it. And the printed score is sent to you afterwards as soon as possible as the order is proceed. And Sean, you started rehearsing with the parts and the score. Could you read the notes in the score because of the small imprint?
Yeah, oh, definitely. The temporary score was fine.
Okay, that's cool to hear.
Yeah, the key was the parts were all there, and I could hand out the parts immediately.
So with that, and how about sending those parts to the kids? Did you send them digitally, or did you gave the parts to them during the first rehearsal?
I actually I was able to do both. What I did was I emailed those parts home to the kids, and then I also emailed their part that was played, the track of their part, but also the accompaniment track, so they could practice their part if they were able to do that. But then also to hear the whole piece.
Mm-hmm.
And my group is a small group. It's 7 students, and the piece that we did, I emailed the kids had the parts, and then I emailed those tracks home, and several of the kids listened to the tracks. They didn't practice them at home, but they listened to the tracks. They did have their music, and we've had 2 practices on the piece that we were working on. We were working on Dvorak's Bassa,
Mm-hmm.
and we practice 1 time a week for 30 minutes, but we also have other pieces we're working on. And so we spent about 10 minutes or so in each of those first couple of rehearsals on that piece. And after 2 rehearsals, we're playing the piece already. Now, it's not a super hard piece, but it just came together really, really quickly. And I'm convinced that the fact that the kids could listen to the piece, they had the music, and then when we threw it all together, it just made more sense to them. So it was really helpful.
So just what you just said is actually like a wow. Like after 2 rehearsals, they could play the piece.
Yeah, that's important for kids. And just Monique, just to let you know, my background is I've been teaching public school bands in the state of Iowa, which is in the United States, kind of in the center of the United States. But I've been doing that for over 30 years, and I've run into a lot of percussion pieces. And just within the last month, I came into contact with Dirk Jan and his music, and just think it works so well, and it's written so well creatively. Another really beneficial part of his music is most of his arrangements, if not all of them, are very adaptable. Like the Dvorak's Bassa that we're working on, we could use 7 to 13 players. So it's not one of those pieces where, oh, I've got to have somebody to play every single part. And they're just so creatively written, and they just work right off the bat. And I've got a list of several others I want to purchase and work on next. But anyway, this one is off to a very, very good start after just a couple of weeks.
So that's really cool. Thank you, Sean, for the compliments. And those were only the first 2 features, because the first feature is the downloadable score and downloadable parts. And the second feature you just mentioned, the full recording, which is coming along with the in the download package as well. So so the benefits are, you just mentioned the benefits, so those are really cool. And the third feature is like actually the software which is coming along with the recording. And have you been using the software already with the kids, and how did they experience it?
Well, I have not started using the software yet. I could see that
Okay.
being a really big advantage because I know, and I'm sure you're going to talk about it, just that you can create loops, you can slow things down for the kids to practice and all that. I haven't gotten to that level yet with the kids.
There's a tool which has been developed especially for me, which is called slow down audio, and I've got it here as well. So you can see the picture of it, and it's really simple. It's a Java, a small kind of software based on Java, and Java can be used on Apple computers, Windows computers, and there's also a possibility to install it on Chromebooks, because I understood that a lot of middle school students and high school students are using Chromebooks. And it's just easy. You just click on it with the right with your right mouse button, and it pops up, and you can open it in Java. You can just drag your MP3 into it, and then here on the top are a few buttons where you can slow down the music. So if the music is too fast for the student, and mostly the first time it is too fast when you need to practice things at home, so you need to go slow down. You need to slow down it, and then there's also an option which you can select these waveforms here, and when you select a specific piece of the waveform, you can slow down. You can loop that piece. So if there's a certain kind of, like, let's say 4 bars, which is really hard for a student, he can select it and loop it and play it over and over again. And the loop, when it's looped, you can also slow it down. So that's a double function. And if you want to, I can send you the videos afterwards, because it seems not to be working right now. So I'll send those to you. I have those on YouTube available, so that's no problem. And there's another great tool which can be used on phones, on Android phones and iPhones as well. And this is called Audio Stretch. You can download it from the what's it called, App Store. And this software has similar functions. You can import the MP3, just slow it down, speed it up, loop it, and so maybe this is more useful if they're in at the end of middle school, or maybe no, maybe at the beginning, because I think most kids are getting a mobile phone when they're starting at middle school, I guess. So this is, and it's even like a good tool to incorporate the mobile phone in music practice, because otherwise they will be distracted by the mobile phone, and they don't practice but start playing games. But now they have to use the phone for their music practice, so they're not able to play a game anymore. So those are the software in short. And so I can send you those videos afterwards, no problem. And let's get back to the features, because there's an extra feature which can be used with the software as well. Because like the full recording I've just mentioned, there's also I made a recording of each and every single part in the piece, and with a click for the tempo, and those can be also used, of course, with the software as well. I forgot, Sean, if I asked you this, but did you send the kids the recordings of the individual parts as well?
Yes, I did. I sent them their individual part along with the full track of the full piece.
Mm-hmm.
So they had it all. They could listen to just their own part.
And do you
Uh,
think it made they were more aware of what they have to play?
Oh, I think so. I think it helped, and these pieces, they're not super long. So, a student can listen to their piece a couple of times, just takes a couple minutes, and they get it in their head. You had mentioned to me when we talked before that you had a student who you gave him all the recordings,
Yeah.
correct? And then he showed up and was able to play a lot of the parts.
Yeah, that was a fun story because I had to do last year for the final presentation for school. And I had a student who was really gifted on drum set, and I wrote a duet for him and me. And I sent him the score, including the recording. And the next lesson, he knew everything by head. So that's really awesome. And
That's the power of that, isn't it?
yeah, it is. It is. But he's really eager to learn. And the last feature, which is probably important as well, I made karaoke tracks. So when you're playing the xylophone part in the piece, there's a track without the xylophone. If you're playing the snare drum, there's a track without the snare drum. So the student knows really what their role in the ensemble or in the percussion ensemble piece is. And those are the main features we're providing now with our percussion ensemble music. And the features are yet available with the 2024 publications, with the 2023, and I guess most of them 2022 as well. But the year before I didn't do that. I worked in another way, but the most of the titles I can make them if someone wishes to have those for a small extra amount. So and did you, Sean, did you just discuss the ability to use the karaoke tracks with your students as well?
Yes, they are aware of that feature. And this, I'm just barely scratching the surface on this here. This everything is fantastic what you're doing. As I get future pieces from you, I'll add these other things in as I become more and more familiar with how to use all these resources. But I'm just barely scratching the surface right now, and it's already benefited my students right off the bat, because I know they listened to the pieces, I know they looked at the things, and then when we put it together, it came together much quicker as a result of that. So very, very well worth it.
And that's actually the goal, because especially when you don't have that much rehearsal time a week as you have, like just 1/2 hour on Friday morning, and when they do their job at home, or at least listen to it a couple of times, they know what to do and they know what to play. And finally, it's although that's always my goal, to have to spend more time on making music together in a fun and pleasant way, instead of practicing notes in a rehearsal.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the whole idea about the way I present my music now. Hey, Sean, thanks for explaining everything about these features and how you worked with it in your ensemble. Are there any things you want to say?
Yeah, I do want to throw in one more thing that I think is really, really important, and that is, I came across Dirk-Jan's music and website just almost accidentally. I had a student who suggested, "Hey, let's play. Could we play Take 5, either in our band or in our jazz band or something?" And I thought, "Hey, that'd be great to do that in our percussion ensemble with our percussion ensemble group." And I was going to give this kid like the lead part on it. And I thought, well, I'm going to search around, see if I can find an arrangement of Take 5. Well, I came across one that Dirk-Jan has done. Now, unfortunately, it's not available in the United States yet due to copyright and all that. But that got me interested in his website and his music. And I started listening to several of his pieces. And I'm always looking for pieces that are well written, creative, and that will work. And as I looked at some of his music, I just thought, boy, this is really well written stuff that I think the kids are going to be able to play right off the bat, and it's going to sound good right off the bat. You know, Dirk-Jan mentioned that, when the kids have these recordings, they listen to it. And one of the other things I want kids to do is when they hear a recording of a piece, they might go, hey, that's really cool. And that is another incentive to practice. So just having that resource available is a big deal, that I could send that home. But then when we put it all together, and Dirk-Jan also mentioned, rehearsals are better when we're not learning parts necessarily, but putting the music together. And this just makes that a little bit easier. But his arrangements are so good. And I've got 3 or 4 others: Foray's Dance Party, Pachelbel Sango, Barbers in the House. Those are the next 3 pieces I want to start working on, because they are creatively written. They also use classical themes woven together with contemporary percussion stuff. And I just can't say enough about his arranging skills. He's not asking me to say this stuff. This is just conclusion that I came to on my own after having taught percussion for over 30 years. And I know what works, and I know what sounds good, and what the kids can best learn from. And these pieces are just really, really well done. So I can't endorse what he's doing enough. And just to have all these technology resources is really fantastic.
Thanks a lot for those great compliments, Sean. I really appreciate it.
Hey, can I address one more thing that
Yeah.
I just see that Monique mentioned in the chat box there, and I was thinking about this morning, that a lot of schools, they only have a percussion ensemble around contest time, and they have X number of rehearsals where they put things together and all that. And I know a lot of schools do just that, and that's awesome. I with my group, I've mostly been experienced with middle school groups, and so we tend to do things I've done in the past is we'll have percussion ensemble stuff at Christmas time, and then also in the spring. And so we would get together with just 3 or 4 rehearsals and do Christmas music. Now, I've used arrangements from Roll Off before. I know Dirk-Jan is familiar with them, and they have some of his pieces there also, and just kind of adapted some of the Roll Off Christmas music to our percussion ensemble stuff. We've had steel pans in the past, and we've had just the standard percussion instruments. And then in the spring, we would do the same thing on 3 or 4 rehearsals, and do like pop music type things. And we even had our group perform at our state band conference for a lobby concert, just to show, hey, here's some things that you can do with some of your percussionists, and just to keep those guys busy and all that. And so just trying to think outside of the box a little bit of what are some other ways that we can keep our percussionists busy and motivated. And what we would do with those groups is we would play not on a concert, but we would play in the entryway at the school one morning prior to Christmas break, and and the entire school building, the entire staff, they come into the school and they just love hearing that. And so it's just a real positive thing to do, but just another idea of something you can do just to keep your percussionists busy.
Great idea. Thanks for that. I just wanted to thank you about the titles you just mentioned, because those are my favorite ones as well. Because I'm always eager for looking ways to get students how do I pronounce this in English? To get students in touch with classical music. And sometimes with the titles you're mentioning, my idea is like that they don't even know when they start rehearsing that it's classical music, and then afterwards, this theme sounds familiar, and then they realize they're just practicing classical music. And that's the fun of those titles, and that's why I arranged those.
Well, those are so well done, and because those themes are great music, you kind of in a roundabout way, you're exposing kids to classical music, and after the fact, they might go back and listen to the original piece, right?
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Sean, for your input today. But for today, let's keep it short. What I thought about is like do a short offer for people who wants to get started with the music I write, and the normal titles I publish are having an average price of 60.95, and that's like an average between the easy titles and the medium titles. So you would normally pay like 121.90 for two on-stage percussion ensemble pieces, um, which for example, the titles you've just heard. And for today, I'm adding my concert percussion info guide. So that's an extra freebie. And yeah, for normally you would pay for the whole set 136, I guess. I can't even read my own PowerPoint. And just for today, I want you to offer two of my percussion ensemble pieces for just $57. And if you're quick and you're ordering this within half an hour, you're also getting a cool street beat with it. So that's another extra bonus. And yeah, so you're normally paying like 100 and more than 150 euros for the set. And so if you're ordering the whole package today, it's like $100 off. So that's I think that's a big offer. And if you wanted to take advantage of the offer, I made a special part of my website where you can go to and take the offer. It's in the at the bottom of this PowerPoint now. So go to bandmusiccenter.com/yes. The only thing you have to do before, because the offer is running till the end of the weekend, till Sunday night. The only thing you have to do is fill up your address information, make the payment of the $57, and no hurry to choose. Afterwards, you have plenty of time to choose what titles you wanted to play. I made a list with titles which are all available, including the additional tracks, so the solo tracks and the karaoke tracks. And I made a list with all the available tracks, and I can send all the available pieces with the tracks, and I can send it to you afterwards. But there's no hurry. The only thing you need to decide before the end of the weekend if you want to go for this offer, and then you only pay the 57 euros as an introduction to my sheet music. And I just want you to experience the fun of working with the additional tools like the solo tracks and the karaoke tracks and all the software as well. So if you want to take advantage of the offer, go to bandmusiccenter.com/yes and order it before the end of next Sunday, and you can choose two pieces of your choice for your percussion ensemble. So I think that's a good offer for starting off with and getting to know my pieces and try them out. As I said, the only thing you have to do is make the payment of the 57 euros, and then afterwards we'll be in touch to organize everything for the pieces you want to go to play and the available tracks. So no problem, no stress, no hurry. The only thing you need to do is pay the 57 before the end of next Sunday, and then everything is organized.